Earlier this week, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez gave an incredibly open and honest and brave recounting of not only what she experienced on the 6th of January in the Capitol attack, but also revealing, for instance, that she is a survivor of sexual assault. And literally as that was going on, and every minute since then, some of the most disgusting people in the country have been using this as an opportunity to tarnish her, to clout chase for themselves, to raise a little bit of money. And that's come in a lot of different forms. One of the ones that's I didn't really necessarily expect was that some of her fellow congresspeople would be attacking her for that, including Nancy Mace, who tweeted this: "I'm 2 doors down from AOC and no insurrectionist stormed our hallway." Now, if that sentence had just ended with a period, it would be bad enough because she's trying to make AOC out to be a liar. But she put the ... that's supposed to be like a, I'm just saying. Why is she exaggerating? It didn't really happen. I'm 2 doors down. Now that is disgusting no matter what. But considering the things that Nancy Mace herself was saying as the attack was happening and in the immediate aftermath, it is so transparent and nasty and vicious. And we're gonna reveal it, starting with AOC, who tweeted, "This is a deeply cynical and disgusting attack. As the Capitol complex was stormed and were being killed, none of us knew in the moment what areas were compromised. You previously told reporters yourself that you barricaded your office, afraid you'd be hurt. She did. She said she barricaded herself, fearing that Trump supporters she had seen staying at her hotel might target her after she voted to certify the electoral votes. She said she decided to sleep in her office that night. She said her children kept texting her asking if the protesters were gone. She was so preemptively worried about the event that she was gonna bring her kids. And after she saw all those people, she didn't bring them that day. She was scared in advance and she was scared during it. And afterwards, she talked about how she'd had to barricade herself." AOC tweets again with retweeting a tweet from Nancy Mace from the 6th saying that she had been evacuated from her office due to the nearby threat. She's heartbroken by what she's seeing. And AOC says, "This is what you were saying just a few weeks ago. Now you're contradicting your own account to attack me for Fox News clicks. It's honestly pretty sad to see you turn around like this and throw other people under the bus. Thought you'd be better." And so now, because so many disgusting people are piling on AOC, because there is this ongoing effort by the right to rewrite what happened on the 6th, to pretend that it wasn't that bad. Never mind this dead cop and the other people who died and the cops are committing suicide. It's not a big issue. They are directly contradicting their own accounts of what happened on that day, if that's what it takes to get a little bit of clout off of Representative Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, I mean, as far as solidarity with women goes, it's really, really disappointing to see. I think actually J.R. Jackson, he posted something, I think he tweeted about it, that how disappointed he was with the comments on Twitter regarding what AOC revealed regarding her sexual assault and then her experience that day on January 6th at the Capitol. And I think I responded, I was like, I couldn't even bring myself to read those things. Right now on Twitter, I think it's hashtag AOC lied is trending. Thankfully, a lot of progressives have taken over that hashtag with cute pictures of kitties and puppies, which is really nice to see. That's fun. They're also equating her to Jussie Smollett. They call her AOC Smollett now, just because of this tweet from this person who, her own previous tweets discredit this one. So it's weird that people are so willing to jump on this bandwagon. That's, I think, the part that hurts the most as a woman, as just a human being, really. This is a thing that we've had to deal with time and time again, with little to no any kind of reward for it, any kind of consolation for it, any kind of just validation for the things that women are put through time and time again, regularly. It's so much more rampant than anyone really realizes, because every woman has had some kind of interaction that was not great in that sense. And that's the nicest way I can put it, I think.
And can expect that if they make the difficult decision to talk about it, they're going to be automatically assumed to be lying. They're going to be smeared as doing it for fame and money. Every woman in the Me Too movement that brought up any of this, it was said that she was doing it for money. Who made money? We're years out, okay. So who got famous and who made money off that? A lot of people have faced death threats. They've had to move their families. That's been great. Not a lot of money. It's weird that never actually turned out. But anyway, and some do it to look cool to other right wingers. To like Nancy Mace is doing this. She doesn't have a show. She's not trying to get Patreon people. She just wants to like, hey, yeah, she's the enemy. I'm gonna mock her. And so when I saw what AOC was spreading of Nancy Mace from the 6th, I decided I'm gonna look to see Nancy Mace had been saying. And I found that not only was she scared, but AOC is being attacked by people like Tucker Carlson as she's making it about her, talking about her trauma. That's just about her. That's the only thing she cares about. What's weird, because Nancy Mace is, I'm gonna show you some videos of her talking about her own personal experience. How dare she talk about the fear she felt? Now, obviously, we think that's perfectly acceptable because the fear was justified because they were going through the building killing people. And that's now Nancy Mace thinks that's unacceptable. But at the time, she was saying things like this. Take a look.
I was with Representative Dan Crenshaw at that time, and I sort of said, thank God I'm with someone who's, former military vet. I felt safe because I was right there with him, but there were 100 of us underground in that tunnel, and it was very scary because you felt like a sitting duck. And then and when we were in lockdown, our doors were locked, the lights were turned out, the shades were drawn, and we were asked to be silent. And all you could hear for hours and hours and hours were the sirens of all the Capitol Police, the National Guard, all the law enforcement coming to the rescue at the Capitol. And it was a traumatic event. I had initially planned to have my kids up there because at the school that they're at right now, they're only doing virtual, and so they weren't able to go to school in person. And I thought, hey, wouldn't this be really cool to hang out with mom? Civics lesson, history lesson. We made history in this election. It'd be cool to roam the halls of Congress and do your virtual school in my office, because I would be doing the work of the people and in the chamber and everything. And thank God I decided Sunday night, when I heard and saw the rhetoric leading up to this, I felt really uncomfortable as a mother, as a parent. And at about, 4 or 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon, I booked the first flight home the next morning for them, which was an 8:30 flight. And I'm just so grateful that they weren't there to witness it.
So she was terrified. She was terrified. She was happy that she had Dan Crenshaw. She said, so it's absurd for AOC in her office, with just her and like maybe Katie Porter, to be scared. She said she was in a tunnel in a group of 100 people and she was terrified. In a crowd of people, she was terrified that they could be killed. They were sitting ducks. And that is perfectly, yeah, I would have been terrified if I was in that group. That is terrifying because there were people coming to try to kill you. And so you were right to believe that. So maybe remember that when you try to smear people like AOC, who for the periods of that time where they were absolutely alone and were terrified that they were gonna be murdered, maybe that's acceptable too. Maybe you don't go on TV after the attack to talk about your experience and to justifiably get the sympathy that is owed to you for that terrible experience that never should have happened. And then you turn around and attack AOC for doing the same thing. It's just despicable.
I think what's important to kind of remember or realize too with a lot of this is that AOC isn't sharing her experiences in an effort to garner sympathy. She's sharing all the things that she's sharing because it was scary. This never should have happened and something needs to be done about it. And all these personal accounts just show this is how bad it actually was. Whatever you saw in the news, however bad you thought it was way worse on the inside. And I can't even imagine what it would have been like to be inside that building knowing that there's a literal mob outside who doesn't like you. Who wants you dead, who has called for your removal, who has called for, they have it like, what was it, a guillotine outside or one of those?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. So at least AOC is goal oriented in that something needs to be done. Nothing has been done so far, not anything substantial at least. So in the case of Nancy Mace, I don't know what she's doing, or we know why she's doing it, but it's not a good enough reason.
Really fast, I just want to play a little bit more of that video. Here's Nancy Mace right after the attack.
This was domestic terrorism. These were people that you watch the video, and I do not encourage any viewers to watch the video. It is traumatic, but you can hear them chanting, hang Pence, and looking for different members of Congress to do bad things.
So you've got. So she not only gets that it's a threat, it's scary, it's traumatic. There were people hunting down specific members of Congress to hurt them. So AOC expressed that she was worried that she, perhaps other than maybe Hillary Clinton, the most vilified woman in the country from the right's point of view, might be harmed. And Mace directly understands that they are trying to hunt down specific people. So AOC is crazy to say the thing that I objectively believe was actually what was happening. It's so see-through. It's so see-through. And I really hope that a lot of people end up seeing these videos that we found. Just so disgusting. But anyway, I want to end with what AOC said about sort of her takeaway from this. This is where the true damage of what Nancy Mace is doing comes in. How many survivors are watching her? Who now, seeing her, won't get care or will feel further shame or silence? Who won't speak up because they know there are voices in leadership ready to minimize their experiences? And that's totally true. Nancy Mace spoke up about her experience. She feels open to do it, but now she is turning and attacking other women who are doing it. Everyone, like we get people who send us in messages about the terrible experience that they're going through, because we're a part of a community that helps each other. Everyone should feel that. But unfortunately, some people, and AOC is a great example of it, are just ritualistically attacked when they talk about the things that have happened to them. And we have to move past that as a culture.
Yeah, and I'm sure AOC knew exactly what was going to happen whenever she decided to reveal what she revealed on, what was it, an Instagram Live. So she's much more well equipped to deal with these things than the average woman is, just living our lives. And, so many of us are just carrying trauma around with us. And AOC is a very strong woman. She's a public figure. She works in Congress and she's a fighter for so many people like her. So she knew what she was doing and she knew what she was exposing herself to. And it's important that she did that. And I'm really, really grateful that she did. But people like Nancy Mace is unacceptable. It's pretty despicable to see.
100%.
It's disappointing even.
Yeah, she's a representative. She should know better. And she knows what she said. She just expects that no one's gonna check. Anyway, and people in the chat are saying it's not just people on the right. You're 100% right. People in the chat are saying that they know people. They're married to people who are calling her a liar and all of that. And I know I've seen the Glenn Greenwald thing mocking her and everything. It's so disgusting that I don't even want to focus on it. It's not just the right. The right are the worst, but there are people who are in the center or say that they're on the left or whatever who are attacking her just as much. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.